Hey, Yetta, is it a forward slash or a backslash?
It's a forward slash.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.
We're honored that for over 30 years, we've been able to come alongside you, not only helping you buy, sell, and invest in real estate over 3,117 times, but coming alongside you to build your finances, build your faith, build your fun, your fitness even, and even strengthen, heal, and flourish inside relationship. We're going to discover that what we've been learning this year is that staying the course will produce the results.
Mm-hmm.
Stay the course.
Yeah, and the big thing is,
Even if nobody else notices.
Yeah.
Especially
if
those
else.
closest to you don't notice.
Yeah, and I didn't want to steal your thunder on that because that was your thinking, and I totally agree with it, because many times we do something because we want the end result. And many times it takes a long time of consistent action to create a result.
Right.
A result that maybe you see, maybe you don't at first. And then suddenly you go, oh, I'm starting to see a change. You're looking in the mirror. You're picking up something heavier that normally would have hurt your back. And suddenly it doesn't hurt your back, right?
Well, I remember when I was first starting to become functionally fit, and I had been I didn't start that journey until I was in my past mid-50s. I had been thin most of my life, so I thought that equaled fitness, but that's an illusion, right? Really bad illusion. And so I would get injured, or my back was hurting most of the time, or a lot of the time. I just didn't feel graceful. I didn't feel elegant. Like, it was just harder to navigate. And then I was on a flight. I have a bunch of stories all related to this at the same time. So it took me about a year to get what I would now call functionally fit.
That's very interesting, because I remember now you used to say, oh, massage between my shoulder blade. I got a bad muscle there or whatever. And it's all from when you fell carrying a canoe when we were camping like 30 years ago, right?
30 years ago.
And you don't ask me to do that anymore.
I don't have to, because those little tiny consistent actions has strengthened the muscles around it, so it doesn't bother me. And if I am going to do something overly strenuous that's pushing the limits of what I ought to be doing, then that is still the spot that will go out. However, it's so infrequent now. So I was on an airplane coming back after doing a training retreat, function, running the mics, like working hard. And I got the nickname Gazelle, which was like mind blowing, right? Because I thought I was anything but a gazelle. And it was because of how easily I flowed through the room and navigated things. And then coming back, I dropped a suitcase up from the upper head compartment, just a carry-on. But it was as full and heavy as they're allowed to be, because I like to travel just with a carry-on. And I'd been gone 3 weeks with just a carry-on. And so it fell.
Hold on, say that again. Some women are going, what? That's a miracle.
It is a miracle, right? It was for me at one point. I used to carry like 3 suitcases, and I thought, I don't like standing
one per week, right?
1 per week, and a big one for 1 per week. And then I've learned how to be smart with the choices and limit the footwear. And anyway, so I got it down to a carry-on for up to 3 weeks, even in different venues and climates and stuff, right? And the thing fell out of the upper head compartment and landed on my shoulder. And that would have taken me down to the ground in the past. And I didn't even flinch. It was just like, it hit my shoulder. I put it back up. No big deal. Or I took it down and left the plane, I think, as it happened. So those little tiny things create the results. And the point we were attempting to make, and that has hit me so hard, is no one in my life, in my immediate environment, noticed. Right? My kids didn't notice. You didn't really notice very much, except when I would tell you all the time, look how strong I'm getting. But really, otherwise, you wouldn't have noticed probably either.
Because you're still thin.
Exactly. Except when I was in an environment that they didn't see me every day, they could see the significant shift in how I was functioning inside the room, to the point that I got the nickname Gazelle, which I'd already been in that environment like 3 years at that point, 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd never said that before.
Right.
Because
Now,
it was periodic.
I'm giggling inside because we started with the / / and you make me going, what the heck are they talking
Oh,
about?
yeah.
And I said, if you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, you want to do youtube.com. And it's not a / it's a / Dekker Team. All one word.
Right.
So I wanted to just correct that because I made a mistake there.
Right, because in the previous segment, we were talking about that it's in the littlest things that the significant changes actually end up taking place. It's the consistent action over time. And then we realized that, actually our producer, Will, is the one. We didn't realize anything, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So even having other people in your environment to help you can often be an asset. But when you're looking at the growth that you've had,
Mm-hmm.
those closest to you often don't see it.
Right. And I think this is a great point to talk about external motivation and internal motivation, because the motivation to do small little things has to come from internal.
Yeah,
right?
It has to.
Because otherwise you won't do the little things over time consistently. And if you're looking for the external motivation of my clothes fit better, or I look better, or I'm getting compliments, or, I'm getting, like you went to a real estate conference the other day, and because you haven't been there for like a year and a half, people say, oh, yeah, you're looking great. Because I think people expect as we age, you start to look a little less
Put together,
a little, more bulgy here or there. And when they notice, it's because they haven't seen you in a long time. And you said that earlier, those that are closest to you may not recognize the difference. It's like when your kids are growing up, you may not see that they grew like a half an inch, or because it's gradual and you see them every day. And then a grandparent will come and it's been 6 months or a year and they go, oh my gosh, you've grown so much. And then you do the measurement against, your armpit or your shoulder or whatever. You go, yeah, they have grown.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
And so this real estate conference, I don't want to miss
you wanna
that.
go back there?
Well, I do kind of, because it's something we've been consistently involved with, taking little actions, learning alongside each other since the mid 90s. So what's that? That's 30 years basically. Yeah. And so, 94, we met most of that group. So that's 30 years. And because we don't see each other every day, and through COVID, we were more on camera, you couldn't see the little shifts. And so got the privilege of getting external motivation, which even helped me realize how much progress I've made.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Even though I've still been taking the little actions.
Yeah.
So somehow we got to do those little things, even when it seems thankless, because nobody's noticing.
Yeah. Well, that's why you set up your house, right? So that it reminds you to do the little things, like the posture exercises and that. They all affect how you show up in the world. And my challenge to you is make your choice and then stay the course.
Even if nobody notices.
Even if nobody notices yet. And we're grateful you joined us on Life's Inside Track, because when we move forward together, we've got this.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.